on Instagram and YouTube. And Mick, did you share it to Facebook? Because my Facebook doesn't work, and Mick is high, and we're gonna have fun.
I can do it. I will focus on this. This will become a priority for me.
Okay.
You're sharing this to Facebook?
He is. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Crossing the Stream. Oops, look at that. Welcome to Crossing the Streams.
I feel like a scientist.
Where we answer the universal question: what should I binge watch next? I
never know.
You just watched something, and now you got to watch something else.
You just
gotta. You've come to the right place. We have over 100,000 hours of binge watching suggestions and authority between the three of us, and we're bringing some heat tonight. We got it. What's going on, everybody? We got Calafante Closet Co. joining us on the Instagram.
What's up? Hey-o.
Hey-o.
What's up?
What's up, everybody? Hang on. I'm sending there, boom. All right, so anyway, all good. Okay, so before we get into some of the shows that we're watching right now that we're going to talk about in this episode, I'd like to take a moment to talk about some shows that are in the middle that I'm not ready to say whether or not, a review or anything, but I have a new favorite show, and it's on Apple Plus, and it is Bad Monkey. Anyone?
I'm loving it. I just finished the second episode.
Oh my God.
Before this.
Dude, I am. If you are like the second episode, the end of the third episode, you're like, oh my God. And then the new episode just came out today. It's perfect Vince Vaughn. Oh. And it's a great story. I think it's based on a book, which I think is why it's a pretty solid story. And
for some reason, I thought you meant that documentary about the lady who faked the chimp's death.
No, that is though that was great too.
That's
I've never heard of that.
I don't know if I've heard that one.
Nice. Yeah. It's like the newest thing on HBO. It's like the new Sunday show, and there's it's like the woman who is like the Carol what is her name? The Tiger lady. So it's like the Carol Baskins, but of chimps. Like she did all the chimp movies, and then there's like this one chimp that Alan Cummings was in the movie Buddy. And I guess PETA's like, you got to get rid of all your chimps. And she's like, oh, this one chimp died and I had to incinerate him. And here's his ashes. And it's like a bag of cocoa mix. And there's this, it is crazy. And then at the very end of this, I don't want to give it away, but as a documentary goes, I was just shocked by the end of this. Just the end of the second episode. I'm like, oh my God, this is my new favorite thing. But what's your show about?
It's a Vince Vaughn is a washed up detective and in Miami, and then kind of he's suspended and kind of stumbles into this murder mystery, and he sees that as his way back in, but he's kind of but it's great. And then one of the guys has a monkey, and that's it. That's why it's called Bad Monkey. We don't know anything more about the monkey except he eats grapes. Which is, hopefully, I assume at one point, there's a funny narrator. I'll tell you that I'm going to give this joke away because it's a throwaway joke. But the beginning of the second episode, the recap, the narrator goes, "Really? You need a recap? You've seen one episode."
We started the third episode, and his recap was that these are just going to get shorter.
Yeah,
that's funny.
So yeah, you should definitely check out Bad Monkey, and then when we do the full review down the road, I'm not sure how many episodes there are of it. There's 4 out, I think now, but
yeah, we're only on 3, so I'm hoping there's gonna be more. I will tell you, I didn't realize how much I needed Vince Vaughn as a detective in a series.
Wasn't he a detective in a series called True Detective?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, he wasn't one of the detectives.
He wasn't a detective in that. Okay.
No, Colin Farrell was the main detective in that one.
Got it.
That season,
I didn't see that. I only saw the Jodie Foster season.
Was he? Who was he? Was he the serial killer in Clay Pigeons?
I don't know, but spoiler.
Can't remember.
Hey, Howard Rosner.
I don't think it's a spoiler. You kind of know right from the beginning of that movie.
Howard Rosner saw Bad Monkey. He likes it. So what else? Oh, only Murders in the Building came back. I didn't realize these seasons. Some shows they seem to come back faster than other shows.
Yeah.
I'll give my opinion of the first episode. I thought it was good. I thought it was really good, actually, except there was this one thing, which was the main plot point, which was Steve Martin being really worried about who the woman who plays his character, stunt double. I don't know her name.
Jane Lynch.
Jane Lynch's character. He's just really worried about her all. Because we know she was shot at the end of season 3. So
I didn't. I'm still behind the season.
Sorry. Well, it's been a long time. So so that just seemed a little, but whatever. It was still really good. There's some really, it's good. It's a solid show. It continues to be a solid show. So what else? Oops! Oh, it was my birthday.
Happy birthday!
Yeah. Happy birthday!
A couple days ago, and then Jerry's birthday was a couple days ago. So long
birthday,
time.
Jerry.
And then let's say hi to Lee. Lee's here. What's up?
Hey, Lee.
Hello. Jerry might have consistently the funniest Facebook posts. Just consistent jams, every single one I read. I'm like, yeah, that's good. That's good. That gets a like. And I'm pretty stingy with my likes, genuinely. And I think Jerry takes the award for most likes I've given.
Well, that is so nice of you. That's so cool.
Yeah.
And he couldn't even be here tonight to accept that.
Oh, he's not here? Oh, well, never mind. It's somebody else. It's
he'll watch. Think about the excitement I'll get when he watches the replay.
Yeah.
And it'll be like, oh my God, they were saying all this nice stuff about me. So cool. Yeah, that's good. I keep hearing rumors of an Orville season 4, which would make me really happy as well, but who knows? All right.
I'm really surprised on that one.
I know. It's taking forever. All right, let's talk. So last week, if you were here last week, this is episode 158, believe it or not. And last week we talked about Presumed Innocent and Deadpool and Wolverine, Mick, myself, and Tony Berardo. This week, we're going to dive into a few things. Knox Goes Away, which actually Jerry had recommended to me. Jackpot, Crow, the new Crow, and Popstar, Never Stop Stopping, which we've been teasing for so long.
Yeah.
So let's start there because people have been wanting to
chomp at the bit.
dive into the Lonely Island classic Popstar, Never Stop. Never stopping.
I've been getting just so many DMs, and it's I really wanted to know your takes on this movie, and you're letting everyone down. Please break this down. Please make me understand why I should watch this. Jeff tells me he's going to tell me what to watch next, and you're letting me down. So here it is, right? Never Stop. Never Stopping. Now, if you don't know Andy Samberg, I'm going to give you just a brief rundown of his career because he happens to be someone that is just embedded in my mind, whether it's his music or one of his shorts or something that he's done is just always in the forefront of my mind, like the Weird Baby and Cloudy with a Chance or something. But so he kind of started out as the Lonely Island, what's in the movie, right? So Sandberg's career began as a comedy group, Lonely Island, which he formed with his childhood friends Akiva Schaffer and Jorma Taccone, who both have kind of had their own career, especially Akiva. He was that weird monkey man in Land of the Lost, I believe. But yeah, Akiva's been doing a whole bunch of stuff, and they've all been working on Saturday Night Live. What really made Andy Samberg pop to the world was when Lazy Sunday dropped on SNL, and that was the biggest thing at the time. For some reason, digital shorts weren't really a thing, musical skits weren't really a thing, and he just dropped this banger about going to the movies and Lazy Sunday, and then followed it up with Dick in a Box, and then because of how good his album was, I'm on a Boat, which just skyrocketed him into just comedic genius level from my point of view. He's got this specific comedic style that really can't be duplicated. It's just kind of like this doink kind of comedy style where it's almost Adam Sandler, but it just isn't. And it's almost a couple of people, but it is so him that it works on every level. I know, Jeff, you're a big fan of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And most of that is because of Andy. Like, he's surrounded by a great cast, but he still happens to shine. Yeah, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which is obviously from 2013, and that's been going on. The musical parodies have been repeated and repeated and repeated. Like, the digital shorts are something that SNL has continued to keep going just because of how important they were to the culture of SNL. And then this random movie shows up, and it just hit me the day it came out. It was in like 2016, and I was such an Andy Samberg fan. I blasted the Lonely Island album so much. And then this weird mockumentary, and, you know, being a fan of Christopher Guest and other mockumentaries, I think that's one of the coolest styles of movie making, especially if you like Brooklyn Nine-Nine or Parks and Rec or The Office. Those are all mockumentary styles as well. But this thing stopped, and it was directed by Akiva Schaffer and Jorma Taccone as well. And it parodied like a modern pop music industry. Samberg, he stars as this guy, and his name's Connor For Real. He formed a boy band, and then some strife that happens inside that boy band. He tries to go off on his own as a solo artist. So what you're watching is his kind of rise to fame, and then a stall at the top, and then almost a descent, and how this man-child has to deal with it. And for me, by the time Popstar was released, Samberg had firmly established himself as a multi-talented entertainer. I absolutely love everything he does. He's even married to a very intelligent woman, and they have created so much extra work based on what they do. But the thing I like about Never Stop, Never Stopping is it kind of gives you like a humorous glimpse of what it is like to be a modern-ish pop star while also making fun of all the tropes. I mean, it is almost like a Deadpool kind of a thing of like a pop star, you know, relationship. And real quick, it's got a runtime of 86 minutes, so you can just devour this thing super fast, but it delivers nonstop barrage of laughs and a sharp social commentary. The story centers around Connor For Real. Like I said, it's a pop sensation whose career is turbulent after his sophomore album flops. A film cleverly satirizes the modern music industry. I wrote this 3 weeks ago, by the way, and celebrity culture. It captures the absurdity and vanity that's often accompanying fame. Samberg shines in his role, bringing a blend of charisma and ridiculousness that makes Connor For Real both lovable and laughable. If you happen to have like Spotify or YouTube Music, you could just put on his album, and it starts with just a song that slaps so hard about how humble he is. And it is an amazing movie, and it's light. It has not a lot of subtext to it, other than I guess sometimes celebrities take themselves a little too seriously, but everything that he says in this is just so funny. Like the fact that at one point he has like an Instagram live to announce a surprise music drop 4 days later. He's like, yo, I'm gonna do this surprise drop 4 days, just check this thing out, it's gonna be hot, but don't tell anybody. It just seems so funny to me, not knowing a whole lot about the music culture. But I found it brilliantly funny and surprisingly insightful. And it also shows Lonely Island's unique brand of humor. Whether you're a fan of the previous works or the new to their style, this movie is a must-watch for anyone looking for a good laugh and a bit of introspection about the world of fame. I know nothing about fame. My podcasts have won so many snobby awards, and not enough fame comes with that, unfortunately. Good money, Applebee's gift cards, yes, not fame. So to dive into someone else's fame and to watch them crumble under the absurdity of that, I think is just so brilliant. And I love it. I like everything that Andy Samberg does. And yeah, please check it out. I think that it's on Amazon Prime right now. It's on like 2 different services for free, so you could check it out. But like I said, under 90 minutes, you can't beat that. Nonstop laughs, great cast, and funny and good music if you're into comedic hip hop. I love it. I love it.
Nice.
I saw this movie 2 months ago. You were going to do it about a month ago. I just happened to see it a month before that for the very first time. And the only thing I remember watching, well, a couple of things I remember watching it, is like being mad at myself that this is the first time I had seen this movie. It's way better than you even think it is. It's so funny. It is
No, I agree.
so
Like
funny.
even movies like Hot Rod have just I feel that they've come out a while ago, but they're not dated for some reason. Like his humor is so childish and kind of funny that it just lasts. And just watching Hot Rod the other day, I'm like, yeah, this movie's still funny. This is still a good movie. And Popstar is that times 10. It is just that much funnier, that much more thought out and more kind of genuine to me. So please check it out and let me know. I would love that. I need friends. So watch things that I watch so we can talk.
First of all, would it make you jealous to know that I've seen The Lonely Island live in concert?
I mean, I have also seen them, so I don't know if jealous is the word, but I'm always jealous of you, Jeff. Always jealous.
No, but this is one of those movies where you wonder why. Like, if I was to sit around and go, "Oh, what's a classic, hilarious comedy?" Like, we were at a restaurant the other day, and we were literally watching Dodgeball without sound because that's how funny that show is, and that movie is, and how much we love it. And we're literally watching it without sound and still enjoying it. And if you'd asked me, that would be like one of those comedies where I'd be like saying, all those things. And it's like, but nobody ever goes, "Oh yeah, Popstar, never stop, never stopping." It never comes up. And it should. That's my point.
I completely agree with you. This movie, every time I watch it, it is just astounding of how good it is and how I kind of sometimes forget about it. And it never got the push or the press that it should have. But it's got my vote to win. It's going to win. I hope this wins this week. Is this show about winners?
Yeah, it's about winners.
I haven't been on here in a while.
I think we should give it to Zack.
Okay, good. Oh, thank God. I've really and just to drop the curtain, I'm actually not in Paris. I know it looks like I'm in Paris because of this beautiful green screen, and it's amazing to me, but it's just a flimsy green screen. So don't think.
Yeah, I totally thought you were in Paris.
It's just technology.
Nick is texting me. What is Zack doing the show from Paris for?
I know. No, don't worry. I'm still in South Carolina. Unfortunately, I just it's a beautiful backdrop. But yeah, it's fancy green screen. Don't worry about it.
That gummy was way too strong for this. I'm like, am I supposed to see Paris right now?
This is the Eiffel Tower. Look, this is the Eiffel Tower, right? I mean, it's weird with the can't right there. Eiffel Tower, right? And you can see back in, I guess it's over here. Back in this was Arc de Triomphe, right over here.
I don't think it's working.
All right, we're gonna move on. All right, let's take advantage of Meg and let's talk about the Crow remake. The remake that everyone asked for. Everyone was like, "We need more Crow."
No, we did not.
No,
nobody.
Is that the opposite?
I literally think people have been asking for less crows. Like there needs to be less of them.
Yeah, I think the Eddie Furlong ones. This is where they were like, "All right, I think we did too many."
Yeah, we've messed up.
We gotta go back. He's gone. Let's just finish it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one, and here's the thing. I mean, Bill Skarsgård he's no slouch. He's a really good actor. So hearing he was in this, I was like, okay, I guess. And then when I saw his look, I'm still laughing about it. It cracked me up. Basically, this is he's playing Eric Draven character in this. I guess they're in France. It's more the story of how he and his lady met. I don't think it's the same Shelley. I don't think her name was Shelley in this one. I can't remember. It was so fast. Like they kind of went through it. They break out of rehab super easy. Let's say that. It's like a prison rehab, and they just like crawl through a window, and they're gone. But it's like kind of like the story of them coming together and falling in love and over the course of a couple of days. And there's a supernatural element, a bad guy to it, which I don't want to give away too much. That's why I'm not going to mention too much about him. But Danny Houston plays the character. He does a really good job, very sinister type. But he has like the capability of making people do things they may not want to do just by talking to them. So, that adds that supernatural bad guy to the element, and like his like mafia type group go out trying to kill these kids because they know too much. His fiance, Eric's fiance, happens to be one of the girls, so they both get killed, and that's like halfway through the movie. And then this dude just spends the rest of the time kind of fighting things off and killing people who were involved. It just does not really hit the mark the right way in an interesting way. It's fine, I guess. I could see why the style, because we all remember the original Brandon Lee. It was very stylized to like the goth, even sort of like punk rock, a cyberpunk rock movement of like the 90s and early 90s, and it encapsulated it really well in its visual style. So I'm attributing to this one, contextually, like it's probably a style I'm just not familiar with right now, which is goth, and maybe that's like, however, kids or younger generations, that sort of emotional emo type of group. This style might look good to them because like it was not a bad, there was nothing bad about it visually. Like it was really pretty, but the story is just kind of dull. And I think that's the biggest sin of it. It's just dull, but it's such a rich backstory of a character that I'm not saying you have to do the same thing or remake it. It was completely fine. That's different, takes place in a different place, the whole nine, but it just, you didn't do anything with it. You didn't, like, there's nothing to really come out of it. There's nothing, I'm not cheering for anybody. I don't really care. There's no deep roots to it. I got most of that from the original just in the first like 30 seconds. And they all only had to show you some exposition and then show you some pictures with it, newspaper clippings and stuff like this. They couldn't even get it done throughout the whole movie telling the story. And it didn't feel like that. So like it's not one I'm probably ever going to revisit. But in doing this, I went back and did a video on the original, just to kind of like a retro review sort of thing. And watching that movie again after like 20 years or whatever it was, I've fallen in love with it again. I'm going to put that back in a rotation, maybe watch it more and more. But yeah, I was just done with this one. It just was not very good.
Goth RoboCop? Yeah, I guess
Jerry.
So.
Happy birthday to you, Jerry. I know your birthday wasn't too long ago. But rewatched the recap. Zach said a lot of nice things about you early on.
That's true.
That's true.
From Paris.
Yeah, from Paris. The only thing I really remember about the original Crow, and I probably should rewatch it as well.
Yeah,
is Brandon Lee losing his life, unfortunately, from that. So clearly, this franchise has been cursed. And
well, so the thing is, like the Crow, and I've seen the Crow 2 and the other Crows. I haven't seen this one yet. I was holding off. I saw Long Legs instead. And because to me, The Crow is a couple things right now. Granted, I did see it early on in my like film, consuming career, but it just has always stuck with me for a couple things. One, it has so much drama for like it was one of the first movies I can remember seeing where a man was genuinely just sad. Like it was a sad man. And who could do some cool stuff, but he was just so in his emotions and so trying to figure it out. It also had a group of bad guys that were so engaging that you kind of want to hang out with them, even though they were all real crappy, and you also wanted them to die. But the thing that stood out to The Crow for me, other than Brandon Lee's amazing performance, was the soundtrack. It was one of the best soundtracks of all time. Like I had to rush out to the store to buy it on those stupid long boxes when the CDs came in long boxes. But Mick, would you say that this movie has like the bad guy group / soundtrack that The Crow should bring?
No way. Honestly, I can't remember a single song that was in the soundtrack. I know there's some recognizable songs in it.
Yeah.
But that's something if there are recognizable songs in it, and I just don't remember what was used because there was just no impact with the music of this movie. Like I said, visually it wasn't a bad movie. It was too dull. Like, I mean, there was no real, it's very gray, very dark in tones, and I get why, but there's no stylized version of it.
Like in the original Crow, it was like Detroit, but like in the future and absolutely terrible, like the worst version of Detroit that could ever exist. Is this just modern France that they're in?
Basically, might be a little bit futuristic.
Oh man,
I don't know France well enough. You have to tell me from Paris, but
beautiful here. Weather's great.
It's not. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't super like futuristic or anything, but you could kind of feel like it maybe was a little bit more into the future than right now.
So don't go to the movies to see it unless it's a Tuesday, or just wait till at home.
I just say wait till I say wait till it's streaming at home, which is going to be in like 2 weeks.
Right, it's probably streaming right now. Apparently they held off the reviews until after it was even released. You weren't even allowed to say anything to give it 24 hours or something, which is not a good sign. And it pretty much got pummeled, I think, across the board. But I just wish, it's like now they're talking about remaking La Bamba, and it's like there's got to be movie. La Bamba's fine, as I remember. La Bamba was great. La Bamba. It was great soundtrack, and it was just, there's nothing that happens differently. It's not like they found out the Big Bopper lived and they have to retcon and make the new movie. That movie was just great. Yeah. It was just great.
Mm-hmm.
And even if they could make it 100 times better, there's no reason we need a movie about Richie Valens 100 times better, because that one exists. And that is
and also nobody knows who Richie Valens is. Like, obviously our generation does, but like we have that movie. Like, it's not like 16-year-olds are like, oh, La Bamba's friggin' hot. I wonder what happened to that guy. You know, like that's not a thing.
Right. I mean, but there's just so much. There's got to be new original stuff.
Yeah, I write stuff all the time.
So we don't have to be making the 12th Crow movie. And I mean, it's like,
I agree.
It's just so ridiculous.
Yeah, the funny thing about La Bamba, that's the very first time I've ever seen boobs on TV. I was like 8 years old, and me and my dad were watching La Bamba, and then there's like a sex scene, and my dad looks at me, he's like, "You got to get out of this room," and I had to go to the bathroom. I just had to I had to walk out of the room because my dad didn't want me to see boobs because of La Bamba.
All right.
Okay.
And now Hollywood wants to take that memory away.
They're going to take that from me.
Because you're going to be
no, they're just going to give another younger little Zack the chance to see more boobs.
Oh, well then, yeah, I'm 100%
even if they put boobs in. But now Zack would be like at a party going, no, when I first saw boobs, and they'll be like, the La Bamba, like, oh, the new movie starring blah, blah, blah. No, the other one with Lou Diamond Phillips.
And then who's that? Guns. I'm like, the guy from Young Guns 2. And they're like, what's that?
Right, exactly. Now, Young Guns, they could remake. No, just kidding.
Wash your mouth.
Yeah, I'm not with you on that one, Jeff.
No, I'm kidding. It was a joke. All right.
Who would be new Emilio Estevez, though? Oh, Michael Keaton? Yeah, good call.
Michael Keaton could. Let's talk about Knox Goes Away. I'm going to talk about this. I will credit Jerry for our very own Jerry for suggesting this to me. However, let's see here. Wait, let's say we got my favorite peeps. Hey, George G.
Hell yeah.
What's up, man? And then, so Jerry. Okay, so I don't know if I think Jerry liked it, but I don't. Let me just say, I didn't not like it. Okay, but
you did not like it.
I didn't not like it, but I had problems with it. Okay.
How many knots are in that sentence? Didn't not like it.
So Michael Keaton stars in this movie, and it's his directorial debut. This came out in 2023. It's just under 2 hours. I will say, if you're a fan of Michael Keaton, this is great Michael Keaton. It's fun to watch Michael Keaton when he's good, and he's always good. And I'm guessing he got to make this movie so that he would agree to do Beetlejuice. I don't know. I made that up, but that would be my guess. This is one of those movies where I think you watch it and you go, "Oh, this should have been the greatest movie." They were just it was almost there. It was almost there. It's a story of redemption and mortality. So the gist of it is, here's just the log line from IMDb. When a contract killer has a rapidly evolving form of dementia, he is offered an opportunity to redeem himself by saving the life of his estranged adult son. Now, the issue I have with this movie, well, I'll tell you who else is in it real quick. Al Pacino is in this movie, and James Marsden plays the son. And so You know how like sometimes like with a good movie is like when the events happen, I think, and you don't, and it just feels so natural, right? This movie, I felt like they needed it only worked because these things that seemingly shouldn't have or couldn't have or wouldn't have happened together happened, which allowed for the plot and story of the movie. Okay, example. There's slight spoilers, but I guess it's a year old. So, and you probably have never even heard anyone mention this movie before. So I'm guessing you're not going to watch it. All right. So here's the thing. Did either of you see it? I know you didn't, Zach.
It just popped up on Netflix the other day. I haven't seen it yet.
So, okay. So Keaton's a murderer. All right. Or he's an assassin. And he starts to get this dementia. And apparently it's a dementia. By the time he realizes he has it, he's got, I can't remember the exact time frame, but let's say 60 days. Like literally it's short. It's not a lot. And then at the same exact time, and then, he's like, well, how am I going to take care of myself? At the same time, his estranged son, who's never had a really history of violence and hasn't stayed away from him because he knows his father is who he is, murders someone. Okay. And so it's the combination of one that I didn't buy in itself. It was just really at the exact moment that they have enough time to do the clock down, the mortality clock down, for him to redeem himself. It just seemed like, wow, that's really convenient. That is just so convenient that all that happened. My wife liked this movie a little bit more than I did. She bought it more than I did. Pacino seems to be there. I'm not sure why. They make him into like he keeps saying, "Oh, I'm a villain. I'm a thief. I'm a thief." But then it never is that he's really. He may be a thief, his character, but he never does anything thiefy in the movie. He's a good guy. He's a good character, and it was like, so I'm like, all right, it was just you got Pacino, and it's like, and Marsden was okay, I guess. He seemed a little, I think, crybaby-ish to me. It's like he's great in that fake juror show, and he was a pretty good Cyclops, which he wasn't in Deadpool. They all were saying he was in Deadpool, and he never ended up there. So I guess my point is, if you like Michael Keaton and you're a fan of Michael Keaton, you want to support him because this is his directorial debut, give it a shot. I had issues with it. Like, to me, like that all this could have possibly happened at the same time. Like they could have taken elements of this exact idea and worked it out. Here's the thing. So Keaton kills somebody in the beginning. And so they're investigating him. And then the son kills somebody, right? Out of rage, out of character, out of rage, coincidentally the exact same time. Coincidentally, the same cop is doing both. Coincidentally, they realize that the person's daughter is Keaton's granddaughter. So suddenly now Keaton's name is connected to both of these potential murders, right? So it was just like, it was all like, I don't know, it was just, I know I'm rambling. Crazy. It's like, whatever, but it was like, it seemed like a lot of convenient story to make it go along. The idea of the movie, I think, is good, and it could have been better if it, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like these movies that get rushed to streaming, they don't care as much. I mean?
So this is directorial debut. Was there anything about the directing that you're like, oh, this is actually something? Like,
it was kind of, I mean, one of the issues, which was also pretty cool, the dealing with his dementia, because sometimes he would just have strong bouts of dealing with that, and the way they filmed that, it was good. It was a good, take away the story part issues I have visually. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed most of the acting and his acting specifically. So it's like, if you watch this, you're not going to be like, this is a bad movie. I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I'm saying it's frustrating because it could have been, I think, a great movie, but I think some of that script and stuff just didn't No, Jerry, it's not. It wasn't bad. You know, I feel like it depends. It's also one of those movies. It depends if you're on your couch, how much are you watching the movie, and not to how much you might actually like it or not. You know what I mean? Because if you're kind of watching it on your phone, you know, looking at your phone, going back and forth, I could see where some of that stuff would wash over you. Some of the things that were annoying because I was paying attention. You know, you know what I'm saying? Like, so. And again, my wife was like, "No, I don't agree with you." I just, to me, that's how it hit. It just hit that way. So
cool.
It's part of my problem. Also, is I saw this 2 months ago, and we haven't been doing this, and so I don't. And this may speak to the movie as well. I barely remember it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so that's part of my issue at this moment as well. So I wasn't going to watch it again. Sorry.
Yeah. No.
Let's talk about Jackpot. I'm curious to know if John Cena continues his comedic reign of hilarity.
You know what? I gotta give a lot of credit to John Cena. He goes all in, and he really like embraces the characters that he does, and he picks characters that fit that mold.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I got to give him a lot of credit for what he's doing. He's doing it different than The Rock did. The Rock, in my opinion, is the Rock in everything, but John Cena shows a lot of difference. Now, and neither of them are on Dave Bautista's level. So if we're talking all wrestling,
Batista's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like for something like this, I was kind of excited. I don't really like Paul Feig's movies too much. His comedy can go all over the place.
Yeah.
But this one, it's a bonkers story. So basically it takes place in Los Angeles. California passed these laws. It's in the not too distant future, a theme on movies tonight, and shows and such. So it's like the not too distant future where they started this lottery, right? And well, it's basically the lottery, and whoever wins, it's like all televised and people can watch it throughout. People are going to try and kill you. You have to survive until sundown. And so whoever kills you gets the money, you know, so they get that prize. It's very crazy all over the place, very Purge-like, but with a lot of comedy. And what really draws you to this and makes this interesting, and it's more a testament to the actors than it is to the director. Again, I'm not a big fan of all of his movies. The characters draw you into this. They make you really feel it. Awkwafina does a really great job. I really like her. She brings a lot of heart to her roles as of late. John Cena, the same. Like I said, he fully embraces his characters, where he plays a guy who he just likes to protect people. His ex-special forces. And in this thing, there are protection services you can buy to help you survive. So he goes all in to try and help her for a certain price. And so he's kind of kicking ass throughout the whole thing. It's a lot of fun. The whole city's like, because it's the biggest jackpot ever. She won like $3 billion. Wow. So everybody wants this money, and they're chasing all around town. Simu Liu is who played Shang-Chi is in it. He owns like the biggest protection service, and he's like always kind of button heads with John Cena's character. It builds up to something really interesting, and I really do enjoy it. And again, like I said, it's the characters that keep you involved in this, but the action's a lot of fun. The stunt work is amazing. Again, this year's been great for stunts, and further proof we need it in the Academy Awards, which is already a bullshit award show anyway. But you get to you watch a movie like this where it's just fun. It's just a pleasure to watch. You're enjoying yourself. It's a good time. And that's, again, I attribute that to the characters, which is brought in by the actors. I think they did just a wonderful job. So I think everybody should probably check this out if you like the action and you like comedy like that.
Yeah, I agree. After Ricky Stenicki, I'm like, I'm watching everything John Cena is in just because, right? Just because. And when I saw that this movie just popped up on Amazon Prime, I'm like, all right, let me see. And I was shocked. I was like, this movie's a little bit better. Like, I agree with like Paul Feig's humor is almost like Joss Whedon-esque, where it's like, well, that just happened. You know, a lot of that kind of humor. And that does happen a couple times in this. Did you get the feeling for some reason that Awkwafina was playing Danny DeVito? I felt that like it was like channeling this like old decrepit man kind of vibes, but it definitely worked. And John Cena pulls this movie along. This man's talent can just pull a movie with him. Like, it is just stunning with how much charisma John Cena can just maintain to have. And yeah, the movie would not be what it is without John Cena. 100%. You put anybody else in that John Cena role, that movie would not work anywhere near as good.
I agree 100%. Like, I thought it was just a lot of fun, and he brought a lot of the charisma to the movie, I think.
Yeah,
I think he doesn't bring the difference between him and where he is like Dave Bautista, I think, is they're not bringing their ego to the table. Whereas The Rock brings his ego to the table. Now, this may not be true at all, so excuse me if I say something that isn't true, but it's my understanding. Like, he's not allowed to lose a fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so he can't have his character. So Black Adam would have never worked because what was he going to fight Superman and beat Superman? Come on.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like, or beat Shazam, the actual, you know.
Also, I think that John Cena has this thing about him where he understands that the main character has to be vulnerable. Like, The Rock has never really picked up on that in his movies. The Rock wants to be like a transformer. He wants to be just a piece of metal. And John Cena understands that you have to be vulnerable, whereas Batista understands that you have to be vulnerable, but also intense as all hell. And that's what he can bring that John Cena can't bring. But The Rock would not have made this movie good whatsoever. And I don't think Batista would have done it as well either. So I agree with Mick. Definitely check this out.
Batista's funny, but he's more subtly funny. Like, it's he has a different type of sense of humor. So it's like, we no need to, you know, they're all just ex-wrestlers. So, but they all, you know, have different, Cena brings this very certain slapsticky-ish type thing to it, and it just kind of goes all in. Yeah. Batista, when he's sitting there going, "I'm invisible," you know what I mean? Like, like he really believes he's invisible, like in Guardians. Like, that's hilarious. That's just hilarious. The way he plays, like, his self-confident, egotistical character where he really thinks he's invisible because he's not moving. That's hilarious. But it's a different kind of funny. So they each bring their own thing. So.
Mick, you got to go, right?
Hey, I got to jump off. I got a bit of an emergency in my hand. I'm so sorry, guys, but thank you so much for letting me do this and talk about the movies. And I will talk to you guys very soon.
Okay. Right on. Be well, man. All right.
And honestly, you got to watch the Scene Snobs. Like, you got to find out what's happening with Mick.
Yeah. I didn't know. I didn't even see this.
You should have seen that.
I didn't see the private chat. Oh my god. Okay. Anyway,
what did you think of Deadpool? You talked about Deadpool last week.
It was super fun. It was fun. Yeah.
Not a good movie. But entertaining.
I would need to watch it again to determine if it's not a good movie. But I mean, it was a good movie for what it was.
I mean, it was entertaining. I'm not sure if it was. It's not a good movie. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, any of the movie doesn't make any sense. But it's just was entertaining to watch.
It is a perfectly nonsensical movie, though.
Right.
If that's so I enjoyed that. I did the cameo. I thought, you know what I thought? Mm-hmm. I would have guessed there would have been, of note, at least 10 more cameos. And I think where I fell flat, where everyone's like, there was a ton of cameos. It's like, maybe it's me. Mm-hmm. I just did not get excited about the secondary X-Men villains from the Fox universe.
Yep,
I agree. Sabretooth showing up, I don't care.
Yeah. So what?
The woman with the long things, Lady Striker or whatever.
Yeah. So what? I'm with you. 100%.
Even the one they made a main guy, the fire guy.
Yeah.
Didn't care. Yeah.
So what?
I didn't even remember he was in the movies. So, and that's not. I just, I mean, they were.
No, I'm with you. Like, none of the bad guys were cool enough. But I will say that the good guys were cooler than I thought they were going to be. So that's a plus. Like,
they brought Yeah, they brought some.
Did you do spoilers last week? Did you talk about spoilers?
I think it's been long enough, and it's been all over TikTok and everything. I don't think there's.
Yeah, I think Blade's worth it. Blade itself is worth it. That was a cameo I could have never guessed and did not know how much I wanted that.
I went in not knowing any of those.
Yeah.
Channing Tatum with Gambit was amazing. It was cool seeing. Never would have guessed seeing Jennifer Gardner as Elektra would have been on your list, but
yeah.
But it was totally worth it for the line where they go, Daredevil died, and she goes,
"Yeah, sorry about Daredevil."
And everyone's like, "Did Ben Affleck know about that?" I'm like, Ben Affleck doesn't need to know about.
Yeah, it doesn't
that.
matter. Yeah, I was watching some behind the scenes of that, and apparently the original concept was that everything that was the Void was actually originally going to be production hell. It was just like movies that just could not get done, like things that could just never be finished. And then once it became splashed with the MCU, that's when like Feige was like, well, make it the Void. It's kind of the same thing. But most of it was supposed to be just production hell. And it was going to be Mephisto was the original bad guy. And that was really, really interesting. And I think having to shape it to fit the MCU is the problems that I have with the movie. But it was very entertaining. And you have to respect someone that gives that much to their character. Ryan Reynolds has owned that character more than I think any actor has ever held a character. It's impressive.
Yeah, it was funny because a couple of things, trivia that I read was one, by bringing Henry Cavill in as the Cavalrine, then they broke Hugh Jackman's record of being the longest solo character, right? Because now two people have played him.
Yeah.
And by bringing Wesley Snipes in to play Blade, he now became the longest running actor to play characters.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like, I guess since 90.
It's just time frame, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was the first real superhero movie, really. I mean, I don't mean like Superman or but like MCU-ish type when they started diving into these types of characters. He was, I think, one of the first. Blade is definitely an OG movie.
The first Blade is so good.
Yeah, so good. But Hugh Jackman commits 1,000% too to Wolverine.
Yeah. I think that he was unfortunately miscast in the beginning, but completely owns that character now and is that character. Now Wolverine is Hugh Jackman instead of, like this. Because, like, even the movie, we're like, oh, this is comic accurate. Like, that's the Wolverine that I remember. It's just like this weird little, like, just angry goblin of a furball thing. And then you get beautiful Hugh Jackman to play him. Like, well, that's kind of weird, but okay, I can get behind that. But it ended up being just perfect because Jackman is.
It's funny to think, though, it almost wasn't him. Like, it was the guy from, like, that Mission Impossible movie and then they needed him back on Mission Impossible, and he had to walk away from it.
Yeah, and then apparently it was Russell Crowe after that, and then Russell Crowe was the one that was like, no, Hugh Jackman is your guy, which is really cool. Because, I think that I would have preferred Jackman over anybody else that would have played it. It did take me the third time watching it to realize that Henry Cavill, when he does his snick thing, he pumps his guns like in the Mission Impossible movie. I was like, wow, that's really because that was, as a hetero male, that was a questionable moment in my lifetime watching Henry Cavill, do that jackhammer thing with his. I was like, whoa, okay, I'm liking this a little bit more than I probably should. You're
funny. I could see Henry Cavill being the Wolverine.
Yeah,
like he could take over that role easy. And I was seeing a thing like Hugh Jackman was that shredded. And I saw that somebody interviewed to get that shredded, they have to, it's a very short-term thing.
Yeah.
And not to get to that, but you can't maintain that level of shred. And it was like the dehydration and everything they put themselves through to get to that.
Yeah.
They're like, it was like, oh my God. But
I mean, millions of dollars. Yeah, you give me millions of dollars, I'll eat one apple and smoke one cigarette every day for a year. I don't care. Like I would be so incredibly jacked. Did you see how much money Robert Downey Jr. just got to come back as Doom?
Like $100 million or something?
$100 million for 2 movies. It's incredible.
Good for him, man. I hope it's good.
Yeah,
I hope they at least get rid of his goatee. I mean, they have to make him not look like.
Yeah, I genuinely don't understand how they're going to make him not Robert Downey Jr. But when you watch Oppenheimer, you're like, okay, well, he can fall into a role, but he's just so well known.
Oh, he's an amazing actor.
Yeah.
It's just in that world, he's Tony Stark.
Yeah,
in that very specific world, he's Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you go back to watching him as Chaplin, I think he won an Academy Award for that.
That movie's like perfect.
I mean, he is literally. I think he's considered one of the best with dialect too.
Yeah.
But he's incredible. But
then you watch Dr. Dolittle, and you're like, maybe you're not that good.
Well, that could have been the movie, and he was trying to train, So
I hate when he tries to do a British accent. It's like that. It can't work that way. Like British people can put an American accent on, but when an American actor tries to put a British accent on, it's like, why are you doing this? Like, you don't need to be doing this.
It's rare. All right, let's wrap it up. Sir, thank you again for hanging out. We're off next week, but then we'll be back after.
My pleasure.
Jerry, thank you. Lee, thank you for hanging out in the comments. Thanks everyone that joined on Instagram. You want to plug your podcast?
Honestly, get over to Scene Snobs and check out what Mick's doing. That guy hustles, and he's on the movie grind. And I watch movies for me. Mick watches movies as like a job, and that's impressive. And I get down with that. So don't look for me. Look for Scene Snobs. That's a better show.
All right. Do that up. All right. Thanks, everyone. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Adios.
Adios. And that is the end, and I don't have a theme song
you don't sing.
Anymore.
We don't sing at the beginning anymore.
We don't, because everyone left. Boom, boom. Here we go. Ending the